Well, who didn't see this coming? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe leaving Fox Sports 1's Undisputed, a show that he co-hosts alongside Skip Bayless. Now, I think a lot of people have seen this coming for quite a long time. The writing's been on the wall for years now, in my humble opinion. Now, before I go any further into it, if you don't know what I'm talking about or you need a quick refresher, these are the guys that I'm speaking about. You have Shannon Sharpe on the left, Hall of Fame football player. He played for the Denver Broncos, Baltimore Ravens. Very good football player and also a very good commentator on sports. He started, I think it might have been on CBS alongside James Brown and those guys on the morning football program. And then fast forward to today, he's on Fox Sports 1 alongside Skip Bayless doing a morning talk show. They've had quite a few debates, heated debates. Some of the debates got a little bit too heated. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they had a good show. And, of course, Skip Bayless is a very well-known journalist. He was previously on First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith. And I'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later as well. And now this will break up as soon as, I think, this month. We're in June. This is June 1st, 2023. They say that Shannon Sharpe's buyout will become effective at the end of the finals, at the end of the NBA finals. So we're talking about in a very short period of time. The finals start today, and it is only a 7-game series at best. So in a few days, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks, he'll be gone off of Fox Sports. Now, the question is, where is he going to go? What led up to it? What's going on? Now, there's a few things. First of all, I think Shannon has become bigger than just a sports commentator. He has the podcast called Club Shay Shay, and I'll put that on the screen as well. He has Club Shay Shay, and he speaks to a lot of different people. Here you have Deion Sanders, of course, but he's spoken to Steve Harvey. He's spoken to rappers. He's spoken to business people. He's spoken to quite a few people on this podcast. Now, of course, this is a Fox Sports or a Fox production, but part of the buyout says he'll be able to take Club Shay Shay with him. Now, Undisputed, obviously, is not his IP, so that'll still be on Fox Sports 1. What they may do is simply replace Shannon with a guy like Marcellus Wiley, who I like. Shout out to Marcellus Wiley. You know, I'm not trying to say, oh, you're just going to be there to be used as a replacement for Shannon Sharpe. It's not even like that. I think he is a great commentator speaking about Marcellus Wiley, and he'll do a great job replacing Shannon if that happens, okay? If it does happen, it'll make sense. I think Wiley was on Fox Sports before on the show alongside Emmanuel Acho. Bring him right back to Fox. He could fit in very well there. I'm not sure if there's any bridges burnt, there's any kind of problems between Marcellus Wiley and Fox Sports, but he'd be a great fit. If they keep this Undisputed the way that it is, they may do away with the show, or they may change it into something else. They may bring on 2 totally new people and not Skip. Now, why do I say that? Well, like I said before, Skip Bayless was on the show with Stephen A. Smith called First Take on ESPN for a very long time. And many people think that First Take was better than Undisputed. Personally, I like Undisputed. Maybe it's a little bit more modern. First Take was kind of an older show. I like Stephen A., but I think Undisputed for me was better. I like Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless not getting along, because they didn't get along. They had quite a few heated debates. They didn't get along. I thought it was great TV. Maybe that's me being toxic. I'm not really sure, but I think they had a better show. But I think the general public preferred Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. Now, let me pull them up right quick. There was a rumor a while back that Skip and Stephen A. would get back together because these guys still keep in contact. They're still close. They're still good friends, unlike Skip and Shannon. Skip and Shannon were not really close. It's more of a business relationship, and that's totally fine. It's totally okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I think if you got a better personal relationship, then it's easier to come on back to where you were. Okay, so let's look at these guys right here back in the good old days, right? Here we have a younger Stephen A on the right and Skip on the left. All right. So this could return. He might go right back to ESPN alongside his friend, maybe even his best friend, Stephen A. Smith. That's possible. Or they could do a podcast together. This could be reunited. Now, some said that Shannon would go to ESPN alongside Stephen A. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think part of the reason why Shannon wants to leave Fox Sports is to become more independent. You see, the Club Shay Shay IP, that was something that he came up with, and it belongs to him. So part of the buyout, he wants to keep that for himself. So he probably won't have a buyout where that is in his possession to resell it to ESPN. It doesn't make any sense. Probably just keep that to himself, make that be a big thing, and then go do whatever he wants to do. Okay. At this point, Shannon Sharpe can be an entity on his own who does not need a buddy or a co-host. I think maybe even Stephen A is the same way. He doesn't really need Skip. So what Stephen A and Skip might do is, like I say, a podcast together, but not back to that daily, everyday show they had back in the day. Because Stephen A is a rock star at this point. He's pretty much carrying the corpse of ESPN on his back. Shannon Sharpe is above a lot of these networks. He can do his own thing independently. I think the only guy who would need to be at a network is Skip Bayless. But Skip's kind of old. He's got to be close to 70 right now, if I'm not mistaken. He could retire if he wants to, or do something else. What he's going to do remains to be seen. Now, a lot of people are wondering, what was the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back? I think it might be this right here, the Damar Hamlin thing. Now, remember Damar Hamlin? This is the young man who basically died on the field during a Buffalo Bills game. He plays for the Bills. He got hit in his chest. Now, people are going to speculate about what happened. Commotio cordis, meaning you get hit in your chest a certain kind of way, and then your heart skips a beat or it stops, and you got to get revived on the field. Some say it was that. Some say it was the shot. Then there was the weird thing about when he came back, and then he was moving around a little bit too freely and wasn't showing his face. It was totally weird. Now, during that whole kerfuffle, Skip Bayless put out a tweet that Shannon Sharpe did not like, and it caused Shannon to miss the next day of Undisputed. Now, some are saying this is what caused Shannon to leave, but I think it had been a few things that had been building up, including Shannon's own rising stardom that goes above the buddy show that he has with Skip Bayless. Now, let's go ahead and play that right quick. If you want to see it in full, I'll link to it in the description. But let's go ahead and let it rock.
Good to see you, Shannon. I understand.
So this was earlier this year. This is January 4th, 2023. So this was months ago. So we're now into June. So this could have been ongoing ever since. And like, okay, I'm ready to go. It's been building up. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. And I commend both of these men for keeping it professional throughout the entire time. See, you don't have to love somebody or even like them to work together and get along perfectly. You know, if this was a man and a woman, however, it might be a little bit different, but that's a different story. I digress.
I want to share this morning.
Good morning. Yes.
Morning.
There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday.
And pardon me, I got to stop it sometimes because Fox Sports, they don't really like people to show their stuff. And they might try to give me a copyright, but you see what it says right here. Shannon Sharpe didn't show up for Undisputed after Skip Bayless's reaction to Damar Hamlin injury update.
I won't get into speculation or conjecture or innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs.
So that's when was that the injury right there? I think it might have been
Achilles tear.
Yeah, that was injury right there. So as you can see, there was the
Injuries
collision.
are part of the game.
He gets up. Number 3 right there. He gets up.
I've seen guys suffer ACLs.
And then he is clutching his chest.
And Achilles tear.
Falls right
but
down.
I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully.
So let's read the tweet right here. It says, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? this late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which certainly seems so irrelevant. Now, when that tweet came out, people immediately attacked Skip Bayless because they just thought it was insensitive. They thought he was trying to say, well, how are they going to cancel the game? I mean, get back on the field. I don't care if you died. That was a perception. But at the same time, he's like, well, what are they going to do? He's just speaking about the NFL. How are they really going to cancel it? How are they going to postpone it? We're at the playoffs. Like, what's going to happen? And then he's saying, well, the outcome seems irrelevant, but what would the NFL do? It wasn't insensitive. It wasn't a bad thing to say, but the timing was bad because there was so much going on at that time that the tweet came at the wrong time. That's all. And people got offended. And Shannon Sharpe got offended to the point where he didn't even come to work the next day.
Skip would take it down. But I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back. Skip,
well, I thought,
Skip, just let me.
I didn't know you were going to bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip, I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because.
So let's pause for a minute because, again, Fox Sports 1, this was, a real conversation having right here on the air. This was a real conversation, a real thing. And I personally liked the conversation. I liked the back and forth, but I don't think they liked it. And that could be part of the problem.
Because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No, clearly the bosses wanted you to offer explanation. So clearly somebody.
No, they did not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
So like he's not trying to have the conversation. He's like, look, let's not even do this right now. Let's have no argument. Let's go ahead and move on. So I think this moment might have just been the proverbial straw on the camel's back that said, okay, let's go ahead and be done with it. But again, there's much more to it than that. I think Shannon wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to rise above the Buddy show, and he didn't like what was happening on the show. He kept the ball rolling if it made sense. He probably just would keep working, but it's like, I could do more. I got my own IP. I got Club Shay Shay. That's booming right now. I'm going to take that from Fox Sports, take it over here, do it by myself, put my own money into it. Just like some of the other guys, like the people that have the I Am Athlete, the pivot, all that. He'll do something like that, and he'll do well with it. So as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Skip and Shannon, Stephen A., all these guys that do sports commentary. Hopefully they all, well, I know Stephen A. is going to be totally fine. I'm just putting them in it because I think that Skip might want to go back with Stephen A. I think all these guys will do very well, especially Shannon. He's a rising star right now, very popular. He had been a celebrity and a star for a long time, but I think he's ascending higher than what he was before, so he'll be fine. And I think Skip will be fine as well. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Skip and Shannon breaking up? Was it inevitable? Do you enjoy the Undisputed show? Where do you think they'll all end up? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I like both of these guys. I like the show they had. I didn't watch it all the time, but I enjoyed the back and forth. I enjoyed the banter. I enjoy even the arguments. I like me a good argument, especially when you have men that can have a dispute, an argument, a disagreement, but at the end of the day, shake hands and be professional. I might not like you. I might really not like you, maybe even to the point of hatred almost, but we're still able to be professional. That's the moral of the story right here. And if you feel like you are in a situation that's not good for you or you can do better, go ahead and move forward. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the American way. You don't have to stay in the place that you don't want to stay in if you don't want to stay there. It's very simple. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.